Hello, my name is Tandy, and this is my story. I was not brought up in church. My mom got hurt by a church when I was just a little girl, and I did not go to church. By the time I was in middle school, the group of friends I chose were not the best of choice I could have made. I started smoking cigarettes and marijuana around the time of 7th grade. By the time I was in 8th grade, I used church as a way to get out of the house. I would go to a friend's house old enough to buy alcohol, and I started drinking. One night, I was found in the road, passed out drunk by my parents. They had no idea what had happened to me, as my clothes had been put on the wrong way. I have no memory of that night. Moving forward, I continued on that path of lying to my parents, drinking and smoking pot, hanging out in bars, and by the time I was 16, I ran away from home. At 17, I met a man, and he asked me to marry him after only 2 weeks of knowing him. After 2 months, I got married. I was not going to allow my parents to control me any longer. I was married for 3 years, and I met a girl that introduced me to speed, and I started on that path. Went through a divorce and partied all the time. One weekend, we bought a large amount of speed, and I went to a concert. And no matter how much I did, I was not getting high. Little did I know, I found out I was pregnant. But God. Married the man I got pregnant by and stopped the drugs. Fast forward, married 7 years and 2 kids, I find myself unhappy in a loveless marriage on my end. I started drinking, separated from him, and moved back home. This is where the song AC/DC says, "Highway to Hell really begins." I felt I had absolutely nothing to live for. My children are now living with my ex. He's suing for custody through the divorce. I have a pointless job making minimum wage, and I'm quickly turning into an alcoholic. On the weekends, I drink from the time I get up till the time I go to bed. And as soon as I get off of work, I start drinking again. I met a man and I started dating, and he loved me, but we went through some really, really rocky times, and I felt like the only way that I was going to be able to keep him was to be able to be a Christian and to go to church, because I felt that that's what he wanted. And so I started attending church again, using God, and I started going to church, but little did I know that God had a bigger plan. In March of 2020, I was saved at the altars. Since being saved, it has not always been a rocky road. I've stepped away from church. I've stepped back into church. I've now, for the last 9 years, I have been in attendance of church nearly every service that I can possibly get into. Still having rocky times with my husband, but I get here every chance that I get. Little did I know that God had a mission for me, and He kept me through all those times in my life that I was on a suicide mission, on that highway to hell, through drugs, through alcohol, through everything that I put myself through. Mornings waking up, not remembering where I was or where I'd come from. God had a bigger plan for me. Not worthy of the calling that He had on my life, He has called me into ministry. He has always kept me close. And now I'm the Ladies Ministries Director here at The Word. And this is my comeback story.